What's up everyone, Arctic here, bringing you guys a brand new real life story, the RL stories. Seems like you guys are really enjoying these. Last one I did was the Wiffle Bat Boy, story all about my younger brother and his mischievous ways as a toddler. Funny thing is, I actually had some of you guys ask me whether or not he was embarrassed about the story or whether or not he knew I was telling it. And he actually, the night before I actually did that commentary, he and I kind of bounced some ideas off of each other about that particular story and more that I could do. So my family actually loves humor. I talked to my mom about this already. She was like giving me some stories. We are down. All right. So you guys don't need to worry about anyone being embarrassed. We're all cool with it. And I just want you guys to know, like, everyone knows around my parts what's going on. So you guys don't have to worry about that. Now, this story today is a car story. I'm sure most of you guys probably have some car stories. And this one is about the hand-me-down. Now, I don't know how you guys' family works. Usually, I don't want to say usually, sometimes there could be a hand-me-down. You know, your parents drive their car and they're like, you're going to get this when you turn 16. And the car that I had was a 90, or it might have been 91 or 92 blue Oldsmobile. This is the time my mom was driving like a Grand Jeep Cherokee. And the only funny story I have from this, there's two funny stories with this. I don't consider mine that funny. You guys may laugh. It's not that funny. This is the only funny story I consider in this car. And my brother actually has the hilarious story of this. Again, he has the funny ones. Mine aren't that funny. But anyway, so I never run out of gas, ever, in this car. And you know, for whatever, I've been driving it maybe like a year or so, and you know, I kind of pushed it a couple times, like, oh, it's fine, and you know, I happened to be on this really busy road, and it was actually me and my buddy were coming home from practice. I was going to take him home, and my car kind of locked, the wheel locked up, and then we started going really slow. And so I was like, dude, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. And so he's like, pull over. So we like pull into someone's driveway. I don't know if the person was home or not. And I was like, I don't know what happened. Like, we just stopped moving. And so I kind of dawned on me. I was like, oh, you know what? I didn't put any gas in the car. So I don't know what happened, I was able to start it back up. We're running on fumes, basically. The gas station is literally like less than a mile away, right up the street from my house. So we go right up there, put in like $10, we're fine. That's my only story in this car. All right, that's the only story I have. I don't even think my mom knows about that story. I don't think I told her, but now the funny one for this particular hand-me-down is, you know, about 4 years later, I'm a sophomore now in college. My brother gets the car, and I happened to be home, so it probably was a weekend or something like that. And he was either coming from practice or I don't know what the case was, but I happened he happened to run into me inside while I was still at home, and he's like, his face is like you saw a ghost or something like that. Like the worst thing possible happened. He's like a wreck right now, and he's like, Kale, I just jumped out of the car. I was like, what? Kale, I just jumped out of the car. I was like, the brakes didn't work. The brakes didn't work. I jumped out of the car. I was like, I was sitting there like, are you serious? Are you just joking right now? He's like, no, I didn't. So this is what happened. All right. So he gets home. We have a roundabout driveway, right? And we live in a housing development. So thank God this didn't happen on, you know, like a busy street or at a stoplight or anything. It's happened when he starts coming up to the house. He says that he hit the brakes and nothing happened. Like, he wasn't slowing down. So he kind of went into the driveway. He didn't think to put on the emergency brake. Again, young driver, not really thinking. He comes into the roundabout, can't stop. Obviously, he lost a little bit of momentum because there's like a little bit of a lip and a hill, and he goes right back down the hill, and he can't stop. So I guess he said to himself, I don't know what I'm going to do. So he kept driving around the housing development until he slowed down even more. I'm guessing he's probably going between 15 and 20 miles an hour, maybe slower. I don't know. But he comes around on our driveway again, and instead of, you know, trying to, you know, honk or do something, he decides to keep going down the street. And this street happens to end. It's a dead end, right? And all there is shrubbery and brush and everything. And again, didn't think to put on his emergency brakes. So as he sees that he's nearing this dead end, he decides to Mission Impossible it. Tom Cruise. He says he opens up the door, dive rolls out of the car, and lets the car run into the grass and the trees, and then it comes to a complete stop. So he's telling me this story, and I'm like, there's no way you did this, right? So he's like, Hale, I swear to God. He's like, just come outside, come look, come help me. And so I go outside, and we walk not that far. It's maybe like 200 or 300 yards, and I see the car. The door's wide open. The door's wide open. The front of the car is like all in these like trees. There's no dents or anything like that, but it's like all up against the everything, the brush, the tree. I was like, man, dude, you really did Mission Impossible. He's like, yeah, man, I told you. She's like, man, you need to tell Mom. So we go back. I don't know where my mom. She might have been at work or out with somebody. So we go back home, tell my mom, call her up, and she gets a good laugh out of it because he didn't think to put on his emergency brake. And that's like the first thing I asked him. I'm like, Carrington, why didn't you just do the emergency brake? He was like, I wasn't thinking about it, man. I was just trying to get out of that car. I didn't want to crash. I was like, okay. So that's pretty much the two funny stories that I have for you guys for the hand-me-down. Running out of gas for myself, me, and my brother, the Mission Impossible man, and his diving out of the car. So the moral of the story is, do not forget about your emergency brake. But if you do, don't forget to dive roll out of your car. Peace.